Well, I've been working on getting this other tarp up. Man, that thing's big. I have to secure the bottom of it. But that will save the cob. We must have had a little rain during the night, because when I woke up there was some puddles here, and there's always a dip. There's a puddle out there. Water in the wheelbarrow. And this tote, I just put this on here 2 days ago. I have a screen up in that gutter. I don't think I ever mentioned that, to keep the bugs out. But this tote now is almost full, so we must have got a little rain. I can reach the water down there. So I'm gonna have to move this over. Which means in the last couple days, when it first started these rains, I don't know how much was in here, but it totally filled it. So then I moved it over here 2 days ago. This one's nearly full. So I've got plenty of stretch in there, and I'll move it over here. And I imagine this one will fill up this week because we're supposed to have a lot more rain. So that's pretty wonderful. I just wanted to mention that being in my RV, I had to go up and patch that roof. I use the gray water to water my trees, sometimes the other plants too. And I have a sewer hose back there. I got extensions and I run it up over here and it goes to my septic over there. I dump that, and I have to do that about every 2 or 3 weeks. And if you're living in an RV, you better get used to using that 1-ply toilet paper or you're gonna have issues. I just get Scott. If you want 2-ply, fold it in half. I have to drive quite a ways to get my mail. I drove up today and picked it up and got my tarp. One nice thing is I won't be paying that $200 for water for a while, because I'm getting plenty of it. Something else about being off-grid, I use an RV filter. It's a tube. I keep several of those on hand. But you know, I have my pump in this cooler. I have a switch here to turn it on. And then I always have one of these. And I hook it on that hose and I put it in my water tank. You can also hook these up to your city water, but you have to buy this other fitting to put by your pump that keeps it from sputtering, and I don't mind filling the tank. Most days, there's nothing pressing. I'm so used to being in the RV and everything works really well. Hello, you beautiful people. I'm Kathy. This is Mesquite Mountain Homestead. Lately, I've been seeing, mainly from newer people that live off-grid, how difficult it is because they're adjusting. And I think I was so fortunate to live in my RV because it really got me used to having to get water, propane, gas, dump my tanks, all those things, you know. So to me, living off-grid it honestly doesn't feel difficult at all. Sometimes I'll come up against an issue, not very often, but sometimes it's usually regular maintenance, or it's my own negligence, like having to fix that window that fell over. If I have some kind of little thing, like right now, I'm worried about my tires. I've had these tires since I've been here. I've never had a flat, knock on wood. But I worry about my car. I want to get a tire repair kit so that I can plug it, and then I need at some point to get a compressor so I can fix my tires and pump them up and keep the tires full on the RV. But things like that to me just feel like it's just maintenance. But even when I owned my house, I had to go get a ladder, and there was a huge pine tree by the roof and the needles would fall on it, so I was constantly cleaning those up. And I'd clean the gutters, and if the paint started to blister from the heat, which in the Northwest, not a big problem. I just had one small area on my house that would blister, and I'd go out there and scrape it and paint it, and I was always doing maintenance on my house. Roots clogged the sewer. I had to go get a roto-rooter root thing, and then I learned you could pour that root killer down once a year in the spring when the roots started growing out. The trees were growing. Then I didn't have to do that anymore. And it's the same. For me, it was the same. Being in a house, I had to learn to maintain everything and keep it nice. And here, it's the same. I just have to do different type things. I think it's not that it's hard. I think it's that it's getting used to having those things be part of your chores. Like, you don't just get up and have a cup of coffee and go to work and come home and everything's fixed for you, or you might be in an apartment and you just call maintenance if you get a clogged sink. And I fixed clogged sinks. I've never had a clog in my RV, but I would know how to fix it. But now we also have YouTube, so if something goes wrong, you can look it up and somebody has had the same problem and you can figure out how to fix it. So, honestly, unless you have a man that doesn't mind doing everything, it's pretty difficult to be a princess off-grid. And, I've always had some grit. And, when I was in my 20s, I had men around quite a bit. But you can ask them to do something, doesn't mean they're going to do it for you if you need something done. You can make your little honey-do list. You might just sit on that list forever, I just got used to, you ask someone to help you and they wouldn't help you. And that's just the type of men that I was around. And fortunately, I would go see my grandfather every summer when I was younger, and he taught me how to do all kinds of things. I've had to get used to doing things myself. So and then traveling in the RV for so long, it kind of prepared me. Now, for building this, my son has been coming to help me, and that I couldn't have done this without him. And if he was looking for a wife, he'd be a good husband. He knows how to do a lot of things. But he helped me so much, and he'll be back to help me some more. So that's really nice. And his strength over my strength is obvious. It's really nice to have him here to help me. But just as a woman being here, like after the cabin is built and all the maintenance and upkeep and all those things you have to do, I'm very prepared for that. But I kind of think that most things are just part of day-to-day life. I look forward to the day that this cabin's done, boy, that's for sure. But right now I have to upkeep my RV and work on this cabin and keep my garden up, and it'll be nice when I just have the cabin and the garden. I thought about getting chickens. I really want chickens. I want those eggs, mainly. I want the farm fresh eggs, and I just love chickens. However, chickens bring rodents because of the feed and the water, although I water the garden. But chickens bring rodents. And right now, and then the rodents bring the snakes. And now I haven't really had too much issue with that. So, yeah, I have to consider the chickens where I would put them. They're going to have to be a ways away from here, and I'm going to have to get some cats, I think. But anyway, I kind of think that living off grid is as hard as you make it, or maybe not even that. It's just what you're prepared for. You have to research and realize that it's very different. You are not pandered to. You have to make it work on your own. You're off grid. You're opting out. You're saying, I'm going to do this myself. And you can. And if it's really what you want and you're not afraid of hard work, then you'll be okay. You'll manage it. But I mean, it's not as easy as being in an apartment and going to work every day. It's a totally different routine. But, you know, I grew up, my formative years, we lived on a farm. We didn't have running water. I mean, it's so ridiculous because it was in the 60s, but we lived way out, very remote up in Oregon, and we had to get our water from a spring in a Model A pickup truck. No, I'm not kidding you. We would go in that old truck with a bunch of galvanized buckets and go out on a dirt road to a spring and get our water and come back. My mother did the wash on the back porch with a wringer washer, no less. And, a lot of the times we didn't have power. We had kerosene lamps in the house. And, you know, I'm not even sure how we ended up living like that. We were there till I was 5. The thing was, I loved it. It was the happiest I'd ever been in my life. Wandering in the woods and the hay fields. And it was really a sense of freedom for a kid, you know. So, it's nice to finally be back in the country for me, and that I'm catching all this water. I feel wealthy. I've got so much water now. I could do my laundry and take a shower whenever I want, and it's just a beautiful thing. So, yeah, life is good. Life will be good for you too. You gotta be a little bit rugged though. Anyway, that's just my thoughts, and I appreciate you all watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Of course, here's to us off-gridders. I noticed I have some people that live off-grid that are on my channel now, and that's awesome. I love your input. I like it when, I like your comments anyway, because a lot of the time, I feel like I'm just talking at you, and when I get your comments, it feels like we're having more of an exchange, and that's very, very nice thing. So anyhow, that's just my thoughts on the off-grid situation. I appreciate you guys. You know I do, right? I think you know I do. I'll see y'all soon. You have the best day.